What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And how about an update on Bitcoin unrehearsed without even looking at the chart before I just open up the page and start the video? How about that? This is going to be my first reaction upon looking at these charts since yesterday, since the last video that I did. Because, sometimes you want a clear view. And let me know in the comments. Post if you like this. Post if you agree with this. Would you find it valuable to get an unbiased, clear view, a first reaction view from me? Let me know. Just let me know. Of course, this is not financial advice. If I catch you looking at this as financial advice, big trouble. Big trouble. Very, very big trouble. I'm serious. So serious. Okay. Starting out with this 4-hour chart. This is interesting that Bitcoin, we sailed down after we didn't even make it up to the 50 EMA, as I was talking about on that last video. And then we had a kind of a equal candle pumping it back up, and now it's coming back down. It's making this weird parallel formation here. Very odd with this double top of a stochastic. We did make it into the overbought zone before having a stochastic crossover, and we were headed downstairs very steeply and got a reverse. And this is something y'all need to understand. We can look at the stochastic to get an idea of what's going to go on, but the stochastic will fool you. When things are level and equal and there's not a whole lot of manipulation going on, you can generally tell a trend by using the stochastic, but sometimes it will fool you, like it did here, because I expected this dip here to at least take us to the red dash line. The dash line has been touched, actually. Look at that. There it is. Would you look at that, folks? See, this is why it's good for me to do this without practicing. I didn't even realize that. I just looked at this wick. Let's put an arrow. Look at the wick right there. It almost made it to the red dash line, and then it bounced back up. So that did come true. All right, we did bounce as support, as we discussed, and it sends it back up, and notice that we're still stuck around this volume node and this volume node. And then the big question is going to be, well, what's the next move? So we have a crossover pending right there where the blue line has sharply done a 180 and now is touching the orange line, and they want to cross over. And we also notice that we've got a light green on the histogram here. And I don't know if we're at zero or if the next one just hasn't started printing yet. But then we had the fake cross here where the blue line almost touched the orange line. But then it jumped back up, and now it looks like it's curling down again. Now, on the micro, my guess is that it's going to do something like this. That's just my guess. My guess is also that this cluster of green bars is going to peter out and be smaller than this cluster. That's just a guess, and you never know. So what are the probabilities based on the 4-hour chart? Well, I would say we're talking maybe 55%, 60% chance of at least going back down to the red dash line. All right. And you know what I always say? It's once, twice, 3 times a lady. When he touches down on that red dash line that third time, it could fail. And so that's why I give it maybe 55%, 60%, just ahead of the 40 to 45% of bouncing as support. Just because of that reason. 3 touches and then it's bombs away. And that's not scientific. It's just what I've noticed over the last 30 years, more times than not. And it's definitely not a rule. It's an observation. So this is not a prediction for those of you who have never seen my videos before. It's talking about and evaluating the probabilities of which way we go. So I'm going to go ahead and give this, let's just put this on here. We're going to say that we're probably at about a 45% chance of up and a 55% chance of down, all right, from this point. And because of all the indicators, which are crossover coming, touch point coming, MACD approaching 0, rejection at the 50 EMA, and falling away from the volume nodes on the VPVR, volume profile visual range. Watch my last video if you don't know what that is. Okay, let's move to the next one. And keep in mind, again, this is not a prediction. Let's go to the 1 day. What does it look like? 1 day looks pretty good. See, this is a lot more encouraging for those of you who want the price to go up. I don't want it to go up. I want it to go down so I can buy more of my altcoins. So if I had to base the action from this one, I would say in the short term on the day chart, well, not as short as the 4-hour term, but in the overall, after 6 of those 4-hour candles are done, that overall this is still creeping up and wanting to head back. It looks like it's wanting to move up here to the point of control, which is the heaviest volume node on the VPVR. You get that? So this big volume node is clustered around about 21,300. Let's scrunch this down and just see if it makes any difference here. Okay, it's still POC there. Okay, scrunch it in a little bit more. Yeah, there's a higher one if you pull in more data at 23,000, which gets us back towards the purple dash line. Let's put it about right here and see what it says. Well, POC is still here, coming back up into that previous bear flag. So that's possible that we could come up. I would say with the stochastic crossed over right there. You see that? We got blue on top of orange. And with the blue line curling up and looking like it wants to cross over, and with the printing of light red on the histogram, it looks like we're trying to come back to the 0 line. Then this could be saying for the next day or two, we're trying to inch our way back up to that POC. Now, if that happens, we're going to be testing it as resistance, and this is what could happen. It could bounce back down after that point instead of right out of this candle here with the 55% that I mentioned on the last chart. So this chart kind of takes a little bit of precedence over a 6-hour or 4-hour time period. 6 times 4 is 24. In other words, 4-hour candles on the previous chart. It takes 6 of those to make 1 candle on the 1-day chart. So we've got that 55% chance of going down within the next 4 hours, few hours, the next few 4-hour candles. But in the next few 1-day candles, which is a longer period of time over the next few days, we have a chance after a slight dip of going back up to the point of control price. What did I say several videos? Get ready for several days, if not a week or two of side banding. And thus far, that's what the chart is telling us. And then let's jump to the 1 week chart. Here we go. And the 1 week does not look as good. Okay. And reason being, it does show the slight bounce right there off of the red dash line, of course. But the stochastic is still looking like it would need several days of positive momentum for a fake out and a reversal to happen where we come out of here and just rise back up instead of going all the way back down into the oversold zone. Now, I must mention that on that previous chart, even though the stochastic was down, let's see, let's just clear this out and go back over there. We just need to look at it. There's a point I need to make. Stochastic can always stay stuck in a zone. Like it can stay down here. Just because this is pointing up doesn't mean that it might not decide to, oops, that's not the tool I want. I want a drawing tool. It does not mean that it can't do this. All right. Much in the same way that we saw how many times that it kept touching up here in the upstairs zone right there. Much in the same way that before that, even if we scrunch in some more time, here we go, how we saw this action staying stuck down here, or the double dip here, or the triple dip here. We only got a double. It could turn into a triple. And so the uncertainty is high. And with all of that flip-flopping, what that normally means is that there is side banding going on. Look upstairs and notice that during this period here, we had a consolidation here, then we had the dive, and then we go into this next group here. Look at that, consolidation here, side banding. And then what do we have next? All of this crazy action here, side banding all the way through to the end of the bear flag. All right, now we're on the micro level, and we've got a repeating fractal happening where we had the big bear flag, the smaller bear flag, the micro bear flag right there, and now it looks like there's a baby bear flag coming out of the micro bear flag, which confirms that we're in a bear market. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Going back to the 1 week, and then we'll look at the DXY, and then I'm going to shut up. An overarching thing that I think we can pay attention to here is just to notice that we're in side banding, and this is a bear market, and you need to be careful and expect for further downside action to happen. So we have the crossover still happening here. We have this trend line with these lowering peaks on the MACD, where this one is looking like it's going to round off. See how the blue line is rounding off a little bit? If it completes the rounding off just above this trend line that I drew, and you can adjust it, because see, this one is over it. So if I take this line, I could pull it up a little bit. You know, I could make it where the crosses are. It's hard to say. But the bottom line is, it's a trend, and we're getting lower peaks on the MACD oscillators. MACD for you new kids. And by the way, that's wrong anyway. Let's Google something real quick. Let's just Google this. What is MACD? Moving average convergence divergence. So saying MACD is technically wrong because there are 4 words that make this up. It's not the McDonald's divergence. Then you could call it MACD. It's the moving average convergence divergence. There you have it. All right, let's get back to the chart. Just had to make that point. For all you smart Alex out there who have to comment that I'm using the old language. So there. All right. That is the 1 week bearish. Let's go to the DXY because we like you. Still bullish on the 1 week, pointing straight up, divergent, stochastic. Let's look at the 1 day. Looking a little bearish, but I'm probably going to bet you that it's going to stay up in this zone for a while until raising of interest rates is gone. The DXY is going to remain the king. And let's look at the DJI, 31,000, not looking good. Rejection confirmed, moving down below the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA. But we have a crossover pending here and a very bearish MACD that looks like it's at a bottom here. But on the week, no. The crossover on the stochastic is just getting started, and we're coming down off of the peak on the MACD histogram with a bearish crossover coming right there. In other words, this is going down for a while. We can have a rebound. We can come up and glance off of that line and go down again, which will happen in between this cycle on the 1 week. So overall, we're going in a bearish direction. All right. I'm going to have some bonus free member preview videos. I still got to decide what I call it. It's the premium videos that for now is going to be free to everyone, to give you an example of what you will get when you subscribe to my membership level on the channel. I'm going to have like maybe 2 or 3 levels, where one is going to be like $2.99, just if you want to help support the cost of the channel. And then the next one will be like $5.99, $6.99, somewhere around there. And that's the one where I'm going to be giving the Bitcoin updates and the altcoin updates with no editing. Whenever I see critical things happen, I need to alert you. And then I'm going to be speaking my mind, being more general, because I know that it'll only be the serious traders and investors that are there, where some of the new folks that come in and they buy, and then when they see me saying bearish, they get triggered and upset and post crazy things because I'm not saying something that supports their recent stupid trading decision. So look for that. And then, as always, I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. I appreciate having you. Shout out to all of the fantastic people who give super thanks. There's a new one. We got Marvin Witt on the 30th of August with a $5 super thanks. Thank you, Marvin. I appreciate you for that. I think it was on a VV video. And I'm going to shout him out again on the next VV video because that's his second super thanks within the last month. Well, I'm done. Comment, post your thoughts below. I want to hear the feedback, guys. This is Carlton, and I am out.